Hey guys, welcome to another Chessmaster stream video. Today I'll do my best to play Stafford Gambit. Well, let's see if we can manage to get in a Stafford Gambit's position. Yes, there we go, e45. Let me just adjust my board a little bit. Can't really make it bigger. Why? Can I make it smaller? Yes. As big as it gets. So I'm gonna have to come up here. Oh well, I think it's just this game. Now it should be. Okay, no, oh, it's King's Gambit. Well, I'm gonna accept. And I think I gotta go a bit smaller. So this should fit the screen just about right. Like so. Okay. So, I'm not a good King's Gambit player, but when I can get a pawn, I go for it. And I'll try to develop very carefully. So I think this pin might be a bit nasty. And like so, attacking bishop, so they might be defending, or even worse. Well, bishop g5, I can take. So they take, I take, they take, and I take. Let's go. They could grab this guy as well. But I think I still come up ahead. So far it shows +3, and either we both save bishops, or we both lose bishops, and they could get the pawn. But their king will be in the center of the board, so I think they might be saving. And if they do so, I'm gonna save as well. Since they're down material, I think that would be a wiser play, just to hold on to the dark square bishop for them. And I'm really close to finishing my development and castling. And well, they have strong center, these guys, holding a lot of squares. That's for white. Alright, they decide to save. Well, I'm gonna take this guy, and then this guy. So, I got a lot of free stuff. You know, I enjoy free stuff. It's delicious. Okay, well, that's actually not a bad move. So now, if I don't do, let's say I play a random move, they can trap my bishop. So I think I could get back after this, maybe here. What else? Yeah, let's. Oh no, it's trapped. Is it? Did I just trap my bishop? So what if I go here? They attack. I take that guy and defend bishop. They can try to remove the defender. Oh, it's scary. Well, I'm gonna try. At least I might get a pawn, since we're up 4. If we lose 3 and get 1, we're still up 2. And if I go there, this happens. If I go here, they just take. And if I free up my bishop, they can fork me. Uh-oh, that's scary. Well, I'm gonna get this guy anyway, so... Yeah, let's keep moving. Now I could free up my bishop like so. Takes, takes, and takes. So maybe rook c1 now. Or possibly a pawn push. If they push pawn, I could attack their bishop again. And then free up my bishop. So now it's all about this guy. If we can save it, it should be an easy win. So they have some strong pawn push. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take, because I really want to simplify stuff now. So if I castle now, this happens. Maybe a simple push. I don't want to get myself in a position where my king is stuck in the middle of board, but in worst case I could do something like that. So that's kinda nasty move. Hitting my knight and threatening to double my pawns. Okay, so that means I'm gonna go queen side. I mean, I could, yeah, that also will double my pawns. That's a lot of stuff happening. But we're up 5 in material, so let's try to hold on to material, okay? Because that's our advantage. So here, in case they go back with this idea, I can now capture with the king. Well, happy to see that. Now it's check. I'm gonna go here. No rook checks. Note that my knight is guarding the f7 square. Somehow I need to develop. Well, that's also a nasty move. I'm a bit in a tricky spot now. Well, if I push and they take, let's try it. This move might be scary now. So if they take, I can get the bishop, they get the pawn, and I can come here. Alright, so probably time to do something as soon as I can. Alright, I'm gonna get my bishop in game and connect those rooks. I think that's very important. If this push, I'm gonna push, so to keep it closed. If they keep pushing, I'm gonna push as well. Everything will be nicely closed. I keep my material advantage. And also I have passed pawn now. 4 moves and it's a queen, you know. This guy is a future baby queen. So they're coming down. Alright. Well, if I push and they capture, I recapture. Let's say stops. I can free up my rook down here. And if they push, I push. And the other way around. Well, I would actually be happy to see a capture. No captures, okay. Keeping everything nice and closed. So now maybe this and that. So my pawns would kind of defend each other. And knight defend the bottom pawn. So the pawn chain would be protected. And if rook captures, well, I can actually trade down more. Let's go for it. Because I really want to go for the endgame. With +5, it shouldn't be that hard to finish my opponent. Well, they put the pawns on light squares nicely. Like, look at all of these. So my dark side bishop can't do much. Alright, well, I'm gonna go like so. Because right now they're kinda stuck. And it's just a matter of time once I start pushing my c-pawn, my baby queen. Well, that gives me... oh no, it doesn't. Well, I can try this. There's no way for them to defend, so I'm gonna get that pawn. I will have double pawns, but I don't care. So it's gonna be +6 for us. Well, rook here might be saving stuff, but this they did not expect. Now they can just give up. I think with this quick win we could do another chess game. I sat down here for a bit longer game. So maybe rematch this guy. Failed. Okay, well let's try for a new opponent. I'm gonna play king's pawn, because that's what lower rated players do. Just because they want to open up, queen and a bishop, you know. Maybe some way to go for schooler's mate. In Latvian language it's called kindermats. It's like, you know, kid's mate. Alright, that's a weird Scotch game gonna be in this round. On my queen, huh? I'm gonna defend. You should try to avoid captures because you help them to develop, and obviously you don't want to do that. So I decided to develop, and if it's a queen's trade, it's on my terms. So bishop there, I can defend, also develop. See me not capturing that guy? That's how you should do. Alright, now I think I could go long, and they will go long as well. Okay, now on this guy, threatening to win the rook, so knight should be played. It is. So that guy... actually, if they take my pawn, I could play rook here. Well, then they... oh no, they can't, because bishop is defending, but okay. Let's say knight takes pawn, rook e1. This guy's pinned, they cannot castle just quite yet. Can I exploit the pin? Not quite sure. So I'm just gonna develop. Also, if they take this guy, I can go ahead and take that guy. So a lot of shenanigans would happen. Alright, so now that we're done with the development, let's start pushing, guys. So they do the same. I'm gonna retreat. This happens. Well, actually their attack is really fast. Like almost too fast, but I can get that guy. So if they push, I have to go here. Because if I block my rook, that's the only defender to the knight, and they will just win it. Now that... okay, well... expecting b4. Alright, so... let's just mark all the options for the knight. This guy is attacked. And everything else seems to me a bit safe, so... let's go for this. Knight has to move. If they push, first thing I take the pawn, they take back, and then I take the knight. Alright, so that knight will be a terrible piece. So if I push pawn and then this guy... oh, okay, well, I'm trying to figure out how to trap that knight. If here that happens, no good. So maybe here. So that's not anymore a knight trap, but still would open some lines. I guess this is more expecting some of the rooks to move over, and on this guy now. So they're back at defense. Now here, Knight has to go back, or that, but still, knight has to go to the f7. And now let's keep pushing. So you can go like so. Just gotta be careful. There's some fork chances. A lot of options for me. I think I'd like my bishop back over here, but first well, I can also take that guy. Let's just go for it. I don't think they have anything. So back here, they push. I'm gonna take. They will take. Or even I can just this, and if they take, I take back. And this pawn provides me with a nice shelter from that rook hitting me. So I expected this move. Almost, I wanted to draw it on board, but I didn't make it. And if I go here, they take. There will be a threat, but not quite yet. So I guess I'll just defend. And really, the knight can't go anywhere now. Like, they can just go back. Okay, now this check. I have a good way to stop it, like so. They might be coming in here. Oh, okay. Let's go up. Now, I could take the pawn, but then my king will have to run back. We're up 2, so it should be an easy win. Unless there's some blunder. Let's say my rook on g1, the knight would fork my stuff. So if I take, there's the nasty check. I kinda want to kill all their counterplay. Well, I'm still gonna take because there was like this nasty check anyways. And I can pre-fire capture over here. So they're on my pawn. I don't need to defend. Oh, okay, I had to defend. Okay, well, because I thought if they take a checkmate, but you know, the capture comes with a check. So, well, it doesn't matter. I think it's still winning. Just need to make sure all my pawns are well defended. So, yeah, let's just start pushing. Alright, now 4 moves I have. And the rook cannot stop it because my king is guarding those important squares. So they're trying to go from behind. I don't mind. I'm just gonna get the other one. You know, 2 passed pawns, they're just way too strong for them to defend. Alright, we got this guy. Let's try one more game. On a nice win streak now, so last game of the day. Let's continue with our e4, e5. So let's go for aggressive or more passive. They're going for aggressive stuff. I could take a pawn. That would kinda get me in some sort of a Stafford Gambit, which I don't know how to play up against. I think it's still possible. Knight should be played. Yes, it is. So can I just chop, chop, chop? I think it's not working. So we have 3 defenders at the d4 and 1, 2 attackers. So okay, I really want to play the d4, but I'm gonna play it careful. So maybe knight a5 now, hitting the bishop. And I saw Hikaru Nakamura, like, he wasn't really doing much about it. He just allows the captures. Not sure for what reasons, but he was playing, if I remember correctly, Magnus. So I'll just go back. But those were like super fast games, so not a big deal. That's a positional mistake. I've explained that in some of my other videos. So if you have a lot of dark square pawns covering dark squares, you really need that light square bishop to cover some of the light squares. But okay, this guy now is doing a good job. I think it's still playable. Also about time to castle, but let's just kick away that bishop first. And I could go with a knight a4 straight away, but my idea was just to get this guy up with a tempo, then knight there, and then push my c pawn, so to get those pawns rolling. Note that this knight I will never move, since there's a nice square for their knight. Now that bishop is cooked. Let's take it, and then I will castle. Oh, but this is a threat they can take. I cannot recapture because my rook is undefended. So, first thing first, let's continue with the development. Since they don't have any concrete threats, I can just move on. And now it's gonna be a castle. Expecting to move the queen up somewhere, or even a pawn push. Since my king is still in the center of board, they'd like to open up the position. And if it's a pawn push, they're actually losing a pawn, because I can simply take it. So I have 2 defenders, two attackers. So probably, most likely, just queen move. Maybe knight back here, so they can push this guy. And maybe in one day they could undouble the double pawns. I mean, look at those guys. Double pawns. And I feel like I have a really strong bishop. Alright, now they're taking some time. And it's a pawn push. Well, okay, let's say chop, chop, chop. They take, I take, they take. I mean, they still don't have any checks against my king. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna pre-fire everything. Watch this, guys. Pre-moving stuff. Come on, just take everything, man. You got this. Or else my pieces are just too cool in the middle of board. I mean, I could cancel my pre-moves, but I prefer not to. So again, takes. I think I get that guy. But one move ahead. My rook's hanging. So I can just castle. And now I can take and take. So far up a pawn. I like to be up a pawn. Yeah, so guys, we had one of the coldest winters. We still have, I mean. There was this temperature record, minus 31 degrees Celsius in Jelgava. It's a city in Latvia. I mean, they want to take that queen. So if I capture back, my pawn winning idea doesn't work anymore. Like takes here, because if I take, they just get my queen. But I'm gonna get that guy and maybe this guy. So let's okay. Well, this guy also. Tricky business. Alright, you know what? Let's go for it. I ain't afraid. I'm not afraid to take a step, everybody. Not a singer here. So if they take now, I'll just take the pawn. And if they take my queen, I'll take their queen. They will get my pawn. I will take their pawn. They'll attack my bishop. I will take their pawn. So basically they will defend. That means I will play rook e1, hitting the knight and a pawn. Okay. Now my pawn winning idea. Well, I don't think I should go for the pawn. I could just defend. I mean, this looks cool. But what after that? I will be forced to take the chop. If I take, they can take with the rook. I'll get that, a rook here. They might get something against my king. But I get a pawn, so I'm gonna go for it. Hungry for those pawns, guys. I think I'll manage to save. So, probably rook takes is the best. I'd be happy to see queen takes. That does not really help them to improve. Because if rook takes, you can just double those rooks. And maybe queen here. And it's really powerful battery against my f2 pawn. Oh, pawn takes. Wow. Well, let's go. Now, the plan is very simple. Chop, 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 and checkmate. Only problem, the next move. Well, I can get out of it with a check, right? Note that there's no checks. Maybe this wasn't the best, so now they push and... Okay, so let's try this check. They're really hungry for that draw, huh? So if I just go a little bit back to defend stuff. So, not really giving up a pawn. I'll take back with the rook. Note that if I take back with the pawn, my queen's hanging. Alright, I was expecting this move, because now I have a nice check over here. They still have some counterplay. Maybe this, so I defend my pawns, all the weak pawns. So expecting rook g8, pawn up, and I think now I could check. King goes down, I take this guy. I should bring my rook in as well. So this seems like a good idea to kinda freeze their double pawns. And we're up 2 pawns now, so if there's no tactical tricks, positionally I should win this one. And right now my queen is also defending g-pawn, so I should start with rook move. Check, king down, I can even check, trade queens, and trade rooks as well, so should be easily winning since I have a really nice passed pawn at h-file. Oh, they avoid the check. So now this. Still I have everything defended nicely. My queen is perfectly placed. You know, the difference between 1600 and 1200 rated players is that a 1200 rated player will probably leave some of the weak guys hanging, and the higher you get in the rating matter, the more you see all the weak stuff in your position, and I just perfectly placed my queen. So at this point I could offer a queen's trade, because after takes, I'm gonna be on this guy and there is no way to protect it. So let's say they, well, actually they cannot do anything. And after that it's just a matter of technique how I can finish the game. And even though if they don't accept queen's trade, what can they do with the queen? If queen goes away, this looks good. Well, they just did it. Alright. Kinda nice checkmate though. Yeah. Alright guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more chess content, you know what to do, right? Press all the buttons everybody says to press. And that's all today. Thank you for watching.